Right, so next part of the process of building this crusher, all these parts are now loaded up. They're off to the powder coaters. So hopefully pretty soon they'll come back and they'll be powder coated. So for me it'll be a few weeks, for you it'll be a few seconds. Right, as you can see I've got everything back from the powder coaters. This is just one pallet. I've got the chassis and the main crusher body still to go off. I haven't really inspected all this stuff, but I need to just unload it, try and find somewhere to put it while I build the machine up. I have made one mistake with one of the bits, which I won't go into now. I'll show you that a bit later on, because it actually transpires what they've done actually might work out okay. Yeah, so the next process now is I've got to build the machine up very slowly, which you'll see. It's going to take quite a long time because I've still got to order parts in, but there is basic stuff I can build up. Hopefully get rid of some of this stuff that's in the way. So I think what I'll do now is I'll just unpackage this, we'll get it out and just have a look at a few bits. Feels a bit like Christmas, I'm wrapping this. This is more exciting than anything I'd like to get for Christmas as well. Right, okay, so you'll notice this is the hopper. Now I had these made fairly recently, actually. So that's actually brand new, it's never been used. I've actually got 3 of these on here because I had 5 done altogether. So it made sense to send them off. They do get quite a bit of abuse, so it's worthwhile having a few in stock. So some spares of those. This is obviously the main part that goes on top of the crusher body. It's quite good. That can actually be built up. That's good. You can see all the pitting from the previous machines used in the front here. So this is going to get paint off it quite quickly, but in the interim it's fine. You can kind of see how the machine gets so heavy with all these bits. They need to be robust. Okay, so we've got the plates that go on the side of the conveyor there. They're done. They're the conveyor hangers. Again, you can see quite a lot of pitting in that. Sprung-loaded entry bars. They look quite good. 2 more hoppers. Now this bit here, these are the hangers for the oil cooler. This again is a brand new part because this has got a brand new conveyor on it, not like the old one that you would have seen in previous videos. So that's the plate that's get taken off to put the conveyor belt on and change the roller. That's all good. I don't think there's anything else in here. Oh yes, there is. So that's the lid that the oil cooler sits on. these bits here, you notice, remember Gary welded these on for me so we could put a pin in, makes it a hinge lid. Right, more goodies under here. What have we got here? Okay, cover that goes over the spring mechanism on the front. Oil cooler assembly. Right, these are basically extension plates that enable the conveyor to sit on to give more gap. Good, 2 of those. Got another conveyor hanger here, and front plate to go on for the spring-loaded mechanism. The end caps for the crusher jaw shaft, basically, go on 2 ends. So that's one pallet of stuff. I've got some more in the back of the truck. So that's looking quite good. I'm going to get this unboxed, all of it unboxed, stacked where I can, and then slowly start to build the machine up. Okay, right, so first job I'm going to do to rebuild this crusher, I'm going to build the upper hopper. So basically you've got this section that folds open, it's hinged on the front here. This bit then goes on top of here. I've got the springs to go in the front and the spring bars, bolt all that up and then put the hopper on. Then that whole bit will be ready to lift on once I've built the crusher box, as it were. So it's just an easy job to get out the way. It also means I can stack some parts up and get them off the floor. Got this on the floor at the moment, I don't want it in the way there. So at least that bit's done, because then that could just be lifted on. It's almost going to be the last job before I send the machine off to get the electrics done. I've just put this temporarily on here. This is the sub-chassis. It all lines up perfectly. You may remember I've had this manufactured from a drawing. No, it's not a lie. It wasn't from a drawing. I had to take one off of another machine to fabricate it. I can't get the drawings for this. So this has been copied, so hopefully that will match up nicely. Again, I've just put it on this chassis to get this out of the way. So basically, that's what I'm going to do now. I'll bring you back when I've fitted all this together with new nuts and bolts and hardware so you can see it all. That's going to be sort of the first part of this build. Right, so that's that section built up. Took a lot longer than I thought, a couple of issues. In order to get this bolt in, or 2 issues actually, this should have been a cap head screw. I must have not ordered them when I did my order, so I've got an alternative. It'll do fine. The problem is that to get this nut on, I've had to take out one of these bolts, and there's no room for it to go back. And that's the same on both sides. I don't think that's too much of an issue. It's held in with 3. This middle section, I actually had in stock already. So I must have had this from another machine. It's all been powder coated already. It is a slightly different orange because I think it's faded, but that's fine. The other issue was these, to put these in. They're working fine now, but the end of them has a little pinhole to put a bolt through, and that pinhole had got remnants of a split pin stuck in it, or I should say roll pin. So that took a long time to bang that out. But otherwise, everything else has gone in quite well. This is slightly curved because it's obviously come off another machine. It's worn with the force of the stuff, but again, I'm not worried about that. Main thing is this is all new. And this section here is all good to go. So that's that section done. Going to move on to this shortly. So I'm going to put this front axle in, put the tank in at the bottom, and going to put the sub chassis on. And that bit can then start to be built up. So in the meantime, I'm going to put this somewhere else, get it out of the way, and then move on to this bit. So quick update. I've fitted a few bits to this chassis. I'll just show you around this side. I've just put this out of the way for now. Fitted the ignition barrel, voltage indicator, new hour clock. Fitted this on, which is the lifting point. That sub chassis is not bolted down yet, but that's all lines up ready to go. Slight issue with the front of the machine. So I've managed to fit the axle, but on the very front there's a place where jacking bolts go in, and this thread has been painted inside, so I can't get the jacking bolt in. So I've got to get an M16 tap for that. And then when the M16 tabs in, I can push this axle back and get this collar pushed into this slot here. So that's that done. Once I've done that, I'll actually fit that sub-chassis. I can then fit the 2-speed tracking relay here. It's a good time to do it now because I can actually physically get to it. Then I'm going to fit the header tank pipe there and leave that poked up there ready, because that is extremely difficult to get in once all the rest of the pipes are in. I don't want to fit the crusher body on yet because I want to fit the ram into the crusher body, and I'm actually waiting for a ram to come back from repair. So yeah, all these pipes will go on with the control box up here. So slowly but surely we're building it up. I've still got an awful lot of stuff to actually order. I've got basically to buy a conveyor belt, conveyor carrier, new pump, new engine. I've got some internal roller bearings to buy. I've got some side weights still to make. Possibly some new tracks. Not sure about that yet. I'll see what the old ones are like. Loads of bits and pieces to buy anyway. So it's going to be a very slow process to get this machine built and up and running. But there we go. Let's start the process anyway. So chassis there, top bit done. And come back on the next one when I've done a bit more.